Hey guys, welcome to this very new show that we're going to be talking about. I'm meant to have Finchy on. We're going to be talking about a bunch of footy leading up to the finals, but he's pulled a sickie and we've gone straight for the top. Let's go, baby. What's up?
So, baby, I always do my best work off the pine. You always come to me to show and go, even this new concept, but always ready to go, baby.
The race that you had last week, it was obviously big news in the YKTR world. It was fucking a bit of fun as well. You versus Simi, how'd you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was good, eh? We got plenty of good content out of it. I think there's like we've spoken about, there's a few ideas that we can sort of keep going with it. Simi versus Scope sort of theme. It was heaps of fun. He's obviously... We've brought him in as well, and people seem to enjoy his vibes.
I always said this to him when you first met him. He's good from a distance, isn't he?
Yeah, so you go through ebbs and flows with him, living with him, and you have your good days and bad days. But like you said, man, like he makes me laugh harder than anyone I've ever met in my life. So when you have those good days, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they make up for the bad ones, don't they?
Yeah, hard.
So what's next on the challenge list for you two?
I think we're going to do some sort of like group challenges. I know a few of the boys are keen to get involved in the off season as well as the boys at YKTR. So what we might do is we might skipper a few teams. So if we have like a golf day, Ambrose, maybe pick a team of 4, play that sort of challenge, or maybe like a basketball game, some frisbee, something like that, where we'll be the captains and we'll draft our teams. So we'll chuck all the names in there. We might have to go behind closed doors because we don't want to hurt some people's egos as well. Don't want to be last pick and shit, you know what I mean? So...
no, we should do it like an NBA draft when it's sort of like, when Giannis and LeBron were doing it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, no, some of the boys, they might not want to be picked last. So.
Rusty Westbrook.
Yeah, hard.
The boys getting
DeRozan, beauty.
So we're going to be talking about a bunch of different footy things as well. But just last thing, a few of the boys are going against you, weren't they, in the race?
Everyone at YKT. So to be fair, we're about to do 10 in the Ken later too, and I'll touch on it there. I actually didn't think I was going to win either. Once I seen that video that Normie put up or Simi put up.
He looked quick, bro. He looked quick.
He looked so fast. And I was like, fuck, I'm not going to win this. So the biggest thing I was going through my head is just don't lose by more than 5 meters. Because if I get flogged, and especially when we got to the soccer field and it was like fucking 80-meter field, like I was going, no, like that's even worse now because he's always going to beat me off the mark. But yeah, managed to peg him back and very humble, very grateful. Say less, baby.
Yeah, it was a great day. If you haven't seen the content, tune into our YouTube. It's a fucking bit of a giggle in there. Obviously, there's lots of legs in it, so we'll keep pushing the old Scope versus Simi because they've got a good bromance there, and it's sort of a love. It's like when you've got a proper brother and you live too close to each other. You fight, but at the end of the day, you love each other as well. And there's heaps of content there. All right, let's rip into the footy. Westie Scope, you come from out west. The boys from Penrith, minor premiers. Yeah. What's your thoughts on them? Can they go all the way?
Yeah, well, they're my pick. So
all the way.
I like them. I like the momentum they're building. I like just the energy that they got about them, the swag they got, like the way they hang out together. And the biggest thing for me is he's the second best player in the comp to the Prez, obviously. Cleary, he's just on fire at the moment, bro. Like, I remember early on in the year, this is when I sort of like started to really notice him. I think they were playing the Titans and it wasn't happening for him. And Cleary came up with a couple of fucking just bone rattlers, got the ball back for the boys. They ended up just scraping through that game. It was an ugly win. I remember thinking at the time, the good teams do that. They know how to find a way to win, and the best players do. They can put their print on a game, even if offensively it wasn't happening for them. Defensively, they stood up. So I really like their chances.
Culture's a big thing that you talk about when you go into teams. They've already got it ingrained with them. You see a lot of those boys from Maoni County. There's about 5 or 6 of them. They want to represent the area, don't they?
Yeah, hard. And one of my mates brought up a good point. Corey Vlachiki, who you did a podcast with, he had him in the under-20s. They've all come through together and won together. I know it's a different level, obviously, NRL up to under 20s and whatnot.
But they don't know that. They don't know that.
And they don't give a fuck. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what I mean, that swag and that confidence, when it's going to come to the big dogs, the Storm and Roosters, those sorts of teams that, know how to get it done. How do they step up in those moments? But I'm backing them. Do
you reckon no crowd helps them as well? Because... would they get overawed by a big crowd, or do you reckon they'd love it? Or if COVID was fucked off, you know what I mean, and you're rolling into 80,000 against ANZ and you're playing against Cameron Smith in the GF, who's like, that's kiddies for him.
Yeah,
that's just local park footage. Does having no crowd or maybe get up to 40,000?
But they do vibe off a bit of energy too, bro. So there are pros and cons to both of it, obviously. You'd probably like to think that when the nerves kick in that big game, But yeah, just the way they're vibing at the moment, the way they celebrate after the games.
Looks fun, eh? Looks like a fun club to be around.
Yeah, hard.
So their left edge, they've got Kikau, Jerome Luai, Crichton, Goat, and Joshy Mansell. Is that the edge? Is it?
Well, that's what I like to look for too in a team that's about to break out. So they've obviously got some established players now in the middle. Isaiah Yeo, Fisher Harris, all those. Jimmy Tamo been around for a minute. Cleary's been building his game. But like you look for that superstar that's breaking out, and for me that's Crichton, man. Like Kikau's been doing that for the last couple of years as well, but he's that X factor on that left edge, and
you just got it, eh? Just something about him.
Yeah, it's one of those things like when you
can't explain it.
I feel like in any sport, like remember when we talked about when we backed France in our little punters club, and I was going, bro, you got to watch out for this guy Kylian Mbappe. Like he's just got it. Like he's got that. He's a young kid coming through. He doesn't give a fuck. Like I feel like Crichton's got that, and he's gonna be the X factor for him. And then you obviously add into the rest of that left edge, and you got a leveled head veteran like Mansell, like you said, on the wing. It's just the balance is just fucking so good at the moment.
Kikau, best backer on the comp,
the most dangerous. Like on any given day.
He just can do everything. Yeah, you can give him early ball, you can give him late ball.
Yeah.
He can kick, he can jump for the ball.
Yeah,
it's just fucking well rounded, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like you said before when you did that Panthers shape, getting up the top. Cleary kicks for him. If he doesn't get up, Crichton's thereabouts and he can tap it back. So they've got so many ways they can score on that edge.
Awesome. All right, the Roosters. Obviously Mitch Orbison. Do you know him?
Yeah, I played with Orbo in the 20s. Yeah.
What's he like?
Yeah, champion. Yeah, good fella. Like the way he looks and the way he carries himself is how he is 24/7. He's just Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Professional. One of the boys too, one of the lads. So.
Oh, he come out for a beer and that too?
Yeah, he'll go for a beer.
Has he got a back door in him, or I feel like he's got a back door in him? Nah.
No, he's probably too nice for a back door.
So he'll come around and shake your hand and say...
He'll shake everyone's hand and then go home. That's the way I remember him anyway.
Do you know who the best guys are? They'll go, hey, I'm about to leave. Let me get you the last round. They're the best guys. You don't really see those guys anymore. But
yeah, the dying breed, those boys.
Yeah, fuck.
And we don't have one in our gang, do we?
See you later, boys. I'm off. Roosters, are they the side that could... There's a few good sides in there. Let's talk about Melbourne. Let's talk about Roosters. We'll start with the Roosters. What impact does Sonny Bill have on just their roster?
I think roster in particular, like that's I remember watching the Super League highlights too, and they didn't look that crash hot. But he's been pretty nice when he's come back. He's in the middle. He had a nice little stint. Like Robbo's going to use him in multiple ways, probably going into the finals as well. I think just more for like the team morale and his professionalism and all that sort of stuff. And, when you look at a guy like Sonny and you're in the sheds and you're about to run out, like it's going to give you that
bit of confidence,
a bit of an edge. He's got a bit of an aura about him for the other team too, like when they're going to be playing him. So for me, I just have the Roosters missing out this year. I don't have them
not even making the final.
No, I don't have them. I like Melbourne. If so, Melbourne will play 2 versus 3.
Yeah.
I like Melbourne to beat them, and I think do they end up flipping to the other side, and I think Penrith will beat them. So for me, those are the only 3 teams that can win it, in my opinion.
Luke Carey and Nathan Cleary, obviously my picks for New South Wales. They should be there.
Yep.
Both on their day. Who's better?
Ooh.
They're different players, eh?
Only because he's got the runs on the board, I say Cleary. I love Cleary this year, but he's got to win it, If he comes out and does it for me, that's my pick this year, and he backs it up. But you can't go against Cleary because he's done it before. He's about to be on the Origin arena. He probably should have made it last year if it wasn't for the concussions and whatnot. So,
Me and you love to look past beyond the players. We love coaches. We love clubs. I know you're big into like analytics over in America and stuff. How important is it to have a strong culture club like the Roosters? And just the hierarchy is fucking solid, isn't it? You got the big dogs up there. They run it. Everyone just sort of knows their job. You've obviously been at a few clubs where it's not really like that. Obviously, Parramatta's a big one.
Yep.
They're fucking always in the media. Manly's probably not too far behind them. How important is that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it's something you crave as you get older. Like we talk about all the time. I wish I was able to play for Melbourne throughout my stint. There was one point like Crossroads where I could have gone there. And as you get older, you tell a few of the boys, because at the end of the day, too, footy's a business. So you come in, you make your money, but if you've got a chance to play at one of those better teams and be part of a culture like that, when you look at it from the outside in, because like I said, watching other sports as well, the Roosters have just had it for the last since Robbo arrived. So you can tell. I thought they were probably going to take a drop off this year in the middle. This is sort of when I jumped off them a little bit. Losing Cooper last year, Latrell. I think there was one more, and then losing Radley to the ACL. I thought that was a big one for him.
Yeah,
but you know, they're bringing in some of these other guys like Lindsay Collins has been around for a bit.
Tupanua, their back row, bro. He's tidy, bro. He's running over blokes. He's probably almost their best back row at the moment.
Well, he's holding out Crichton and Sonny. Yeah. So
it's a handy back row rotation, isn't it?
Yeah, really good.
So Bellyache versus Smith has seen a bit of that was a good little moment, wasn't it?
That was gun.
Yeah.
How good is that?
I love the internet, but the shit thing about the internet, everyone tries to come in, they're like, oh, he shouldn't be doing that, he's a professional. It was just a raw moment, just made against mate, isn't it? Like, I didn't realise Bellyache was a fucking try scorer.
Yeah, how many Smitty scored, eh?
I don't know.
Smitty scored a few.
Nah, it's not working, bro.
43?
43 tries.
43, not too bad. Was Bellyache a fullback?
I think he's a back row, bro. I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just making up shit here.
We should have put more looked into this.
I thought he was struggling to make first grade. I didn't realise he was like a...
Yeah, so he must have... Yeah, no, he played a bit. I think he missed the golden years, though, of the Raiders. I believe it was just before it. But once again, I'm not 100% on that, so don't fact check us.
It's taken Smithy a while to get over there, eh? Like, you think the best player... It's just not his game, though, is it?
No, I think 300 wins isn't too bad as well. I think you'll take those over those 40 little kiddies 40 tries.
Oh yeah, that's true. So does he kick on? Does he keep playing or?
Well, I think he'll finish up if they win, but that's just the gut feeling. Like that would be the ultimate like storyline for Melbourne. They've got a couple of guys in waiting. I seen and another little video that I love, man. That Melbourne
cheese.
The cheese was down on the ground, and Smitty was going to push him over. Like fuck, you can tell they're a really close culture, and the media try to break him down sometimes. They're talking about like, you know, what's he going to do? Does Harry and Cheese are they worried about they're going to leave and whatnot? But mate, they're what's happening in that little culture is second to none. And
yeah, we've obviously got a little bit of insight to there. We've got a little card gang and about 6 or 7 of the Melbourne boys down there. Fuck, it looks like a mad time. Like I know the Warriors over here, and it's a little bit different when you're in a completely different country, but their situation's not too different, is it? They're in outer state. They're away from. I know their families and some of them are up, but they've been living in this fucking place for fucking couple months now.
Yeah,
and getting it done
Yeah, and I think Normie said even early on, like, he was saying to the boys, "Oh fuck, thanks for doing this," and the boys like, "Oh no, we're having a ball." Like it's meant like the single boys and that, like the guys that obviously had families, they eventually come over but at the start that would have been tough. But some of the boys would have been loving it. If I was 20 to 25, single, and getting to spend time in Australia,
skipping the Melbourne winter, that'll be important. Like just you're up in the sun, getting a tan, breaking cards,
and not doing. Obviously, the travel's a big part of it too, and the soreness that you get from that. Because I did that when I played at Catalans in the Super League, and it's fun for about 5 or 6 weeks, and then you get over it. So
yeah, fucking oath. And your days off are spent travelling, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like you stay the night after you play the game, and then your day off, like Sunday, flying back home.
Yeah, that's your recovery day. Yeah, you know what I mean? So
ends up being torture. Can anyone from 6 to 8 win it? You got Canberra, you got Knights, you got Rabbitohs, you got Sharks. We'll start from the bottom up. Sharks.
No.
Sean Johnson going down. But as soon as I saw him goosey, but I knew straight away that was his Achilles because I've done mine.
Yep.
Once no one's around you, and like everyone's going, "Oh, his ankle." So fuck off his ankle.
Yeah, you can see it, eh?
Bro, it's one of the worst. It sounds like that. It goes.
Yeah.
It sounds like a clap.
Yeah.
Have you heard one?
No. I seen Joey Nullivel went down in one game. I seen it happened to Georgie Tafutu the other day. It's an ugly injury, man. Everyone who has that injury says it's the worst thing.
Yeah, it just feels like someone's ankle tapped you from behind. It doesn't hurt too much unless you got adrenaline pumping through you, but yeah, just the sound of fucking scary, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're pretty much written off. Rabbitohs obviously had a bit of a slip up on the weekend against the Doggies.
Yeah. That just can't happen. That can't happen. If you're a legit contender.
Is that the game you want to drop though before rolling into finals, or you want to be in form?
Yeah, you want to be in form. You want to be winning games.
Knights
are the one. Like Knights are the tricky team, but same thing. They lost. Obviously McCullough, Connor Watson, and Blake Green, who would have been just like that third guy to help out Piercy and Ponga.
It's probably about 600 games of experience here as well.
Yeah. So they were just. I like their pack. There's a few youngsters in the backs, but they're just missing a couple of pieces. They're not too far away. I think they might be, if they make a few nice signings for next year, or a couple of these other guys can stay fit for them.
Pretty much Kalen and Junior just going to have to be on the whole time.
All the time.
They're going to have to play 2 perfect games. They're both going to have to play teams just to give themselves a shot against a good side.
A shot against the top 3. So, and then even that might not be good enough. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's just one of those. They just look like They've got some good outside backs, but then when you're rolling up against the Roosters and you got B Miles, J Miles, Tupou, Joseph Manu, and Tedesco, it's just like shit. When you go from 1 to 5,
shit, can I change my pick on the Roosters? Fucking naming those names like that.
Yeah, bro. You got vets there, bro, and just guns too. So I don't know. You don't really hear dynasty down here, but they're close, aren't they?
Yeah.
3's a dynasty, surely.
3, 100%.
Canberra Raiders.
I thought they're an ugly team to play, man. Like, I enjoy watching them too because you sort of don't know what you're going to get out of the Raiders too. Like, they remind me a bit of like Manly back in the day, where you sort of write them off in some games and they're just like
they just keep turning up. They don't beat themselves.
Yeah.
Papali, fuck, he's probably the guy. We had Freddie Fittler in here with Finchie's podcast.
Yeah.
Off air, I go, who do you think will win? And he goes, whoever's got the toughest player. And I reckon right now it's Josh Papali.
Yeah.
Do props win you comps?
When he went close,
yeah.
Mate, last couple of years, he went close. Talk about tough as well, like Jack Whiten. If you talk about fucking, he's as tough
he's
as they
scary
come.
for a 5'8", eh? Fuck getting jammed from him.
He's a beast, man.
Yeah, apparently can throw him too.
Yeah.
You look him in the eye roll.
Yeah, don't sleep on that video that come out. He was a bit sloppy then. Apparently he can proper throw him. The boys have been saying that for a minute, so.
And they reckons when he cruises back home, just like anyone look him in the eye. This is back in the day.
Yeah, it's
just
on.
Punch, but then it was just normal there. They'll just have a fight, then just sort of carry on.
Around those ways.
All right, so we'll shout for a bit of Q&A from you guys. Couple questions. Is Mad Monday dead?
Yeah, I think so. This will be the killer blow to it. They've been trying to get rid of it for a while. The boys will find new creative ways to get together and have a Larry.
Yeah, fucking oath.
You know? Mad Mondays, COVID's been an opportunity for them to kill, I reckon. I said it's a conspiracy theory. COVID was brought in just to get rid of Mad Mondays on the companion, but that was obviously a G-up. They've been trying to get rid of it for a minute now.
What? Why? Like, bro,
because
leave the boys alone for one day, man. Fuck off.
We're just too PC now. It's like you said, like there are 90% of people that won't care. You got 10%, and those 10% of those nerds,
the loudest.
They write stuff in. They complain. So they'll try to get rid of it. But like I said, maybe the boys just might shift it back a couple of weeks, or get together a little bit later.
Do you know what Gus Golds used to do for us? He used to organise the Mad Monday. He goes, this is when the bus leaves. This is when the bus comes back. There's 2 security guards for you. So you jump on a bus, go on a boat, carry on, go to a pub, carry on. And he goes, he said the bus leaves here at 9:30, 10. If you're not on it and blind, you haven't had a fucking go.
Perfect.
And then when you've got your head of your club saying that, you're like, oh, sweet, I can sort of carry on and then nothing's going to get too loose there because I've got this massive security guard there. But we still had cameras following us around.
Yeah.
I feel like if media want to build great relationships with players, that should almost be like here's a surrender day. Like even when they went to war, bro, the day after Christmas, they used to the 2 enemies used to come together and share fucking darts and have a beer together. At war, bro.
Yeah.
Just one day off a year. How hard is it? Obviously, we're very biased towards a Mad Monday.
Yeah.
And they're not even that fucking fun, eh? They're a fucking struggle.
Mate, they're tough work. On what you're saying there about with the media stuff, Manly had it pretty well at one stage. So we used to go to those apartments right on the water there. Yeah. And we used to hire out 2 levels, and it was grouse. Would lock down there for 3 days, and the media would come. They'd snap shots because they'd want to get us out on the balcony. There's some famous shots of the boys on 2011 grand final out there. A few Steph Curry's best, and the boys, the media would say, "We just want to come and speak to a couple of boys. Tell us what you're up to, and it'd be done." And that was good. Like that worked for us. So we'd go down. I think they'd send maybe Killer down, or maybe Matty Ballon. Matty Ballon only had just a couple of schooners, so he would go down. He would speak to the media, tell them we're just going to party here for the next couple of days, and then they'd go and let us do a thing. So
yeah, we've sort of lost that respect between players and media at the moment, haven't we?
Yeah, well, they're not going to leave because they want to. Someone's going to fuck up. Yeah, eventually. It's like someone's going to not even like fuck up, like get nude or something.
Yeah, and if they take obviously the Adam Elliott's scenario is the one in the forefront of my mind where like he's sort of naked, and fuck, how many naked cunts you seen on a Mad Monday?
Oh, too many for my liking. I don't want to see that. And they try to get me naked too, and I ain't about that life.
Trying to ban the nude runs and shit, like bro, like just I don't know. Yeah, it's too PC at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, next question: who's your rookie of the year? Well, but you know what? We've had some really good rookie classes lately.
It has been, man.
And obviously Crichton and Harry Grant probably at the top of the list. I think if Harry Grant plays every game, he gets it. But I'm going Crichton.
I'm going Harry. Yeah. I think that's going because I'm just going purely on the point system.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I believe that's how it works. So Harry was like second on the Daily M voting before it closed. How Did he miss 3 or 4 games?
Yeah,
3 or 4 games.
About 4, I reckon.
I think he'd done enough anyway to get it, so I'm going Harry.
Yeah, I'll go Crichton. Should we keep loaning players? The loan system.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, obviously we've both come from Super League, and it's quite prominent over there.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's better.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you've got a strong, like, you're seeing some of these, like
George
the Warriors
Jennings,
and Alvaro there at the Warriors.
Jack Hetherington was probably the prime example. He was like their best player.
Yeah.
And he can't even crack the fucking Penrith side.
Yeah.
He gave them a different element, made them look like a bit tougher, have that sort of...
Yeah, he's been really good for him. And the big one, obviously, is Harry Grant. Like, would we have got to see Harry Grant at this level for this long throughout the year? He's been, like I said, it was him and the guy that, he could potentially be replacing. It was them two at the top of the Daily M leaderboard. And, maybe we wouldn't have seen that if it wasn't for this loan system. So
got to keep it there. And it helps develop. Like, obviously, you can build into, like, say, if I'm playing, like, you come from my club and then the 4-week loan, when you come, you don't play against us. So they should just build those types of things.
Yeah, they were in place for us at Wakey. So we sent Paulie over to Salford.
Yeah.
And part of the... agreement was that Paulie didn't play against us, which was good because I don't want to fucking tackle big Paulie.
He's a big boy, eh? Last question. The Titans, are they the feel-good story of 2020? And thoughts on AJ Brimson?
Love AJ Brimson.
I was talking to him on the phone start of the year because he was doing a podcast with his brother or something.
Yeah.
I don't want to give him this kind of rap, but he kind of sounded like Prez, eh? Just, Prez has got that little demeanour about him.
Oh, that's high praise, baby. That's
Yeah.
high praise.
I know. I've gone straight for the top, but I'll fucking back him because he looks kind of loose as well, I reckon.
Yeah, he looks like he's got that twinkle in his eye, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's got an old head, though. I said to Normie the other day, I said, how old is this Brimson, bro? He goes, like 21 or something.
Yeah, he's young, bro. He's young.
He's got like an old head, but...
Too many benders, bro. That's what it is.
Probably.
Gold Coast sun, hanging out there all day on the bender, day 2 at the back, no sunscreen. Yeah. It's going to weather the head.
Yeah, true. But it's not affecting his football capabilities. He's always thereabouts. He looks so strong, man. He looks like he's got that mad Mongo strength as well.
They married his stats up against Turbo's. Remember, start of the year, Turbo's like, he's almost got titty, and which I think he almost does. Yep. But they married up like the amount of games they played at time of the year. I think it was like 5 games each or something. And Brimson had a few stats over him, eh?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, a lot of them too.
Yeah, nice.
Just from the weekend, and then went out to Brookie and put on a fucking clinic as well.
Yep.
You got big raps on the Titans, coach?
Yeah, I love him. I got the opportunity to have a chat to him over when I was overseas and spoke to a few of the boys at St Helens, during that process, and they all because people forget, man. St Helens were dying in the arse over there. They had a couple of real bad years. They're outside the 8. They brought him over, and he completely changed the culture of the team.
Where did he come from?
Roosters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He come through with Robbo, bro.
So has he got a bit of young Robbo about him?
Yeah, from the outside looking in, I've never been coached by those guys, but it's the same sort of thing. Like, he just instills confidence in them. That's the biggest thing that I keep hearing about him. So the boys he's very big on just backing yourself. He doesn't care. Sort of, I believe if you make errors, but if you make errors, try and. It seems like it's such an easy thing to do, but when times do get tough, like the Titans had at the start of the year, it's easy to cave back in and go, fuck him off. Like, I'm going to get, you look at the re-signing of Kevy Proctor and all those sorts of things, and you can tell he's sort of that coach that's got your back. Yeah, true. That's important, isn't it? It's so important, man. And it's like I said, it's important during the tough times too. It's easy to do when you're winning, but when you lose 5 or 6 in a row, and you can see that he's still got your back. And
but when you lose 3 in a row, you start to learn about not only your teammates, but who's with you and around you.
Exactly. So I think that's one of his biggest strengths, I believe. A few signings for them boys next year. Do they make the 8, or are they still just short? No, I'll put him in. I'll put him in the 8 because I'm not sold on a few teams that are there at the moment, like with the Rabbitohs and Sharkies about being locking that place down again next year. So I'll find a way for him next year when I put my top 8 out. Awesome. All right, that's a wrap on the show. Scopes merch is dropping. When we're dropping this Wednesday? Thursday? We'll drop this Wednesday, Dropping this Wednesday, so Scopes merch is going to be available. The Bet Slip tee looks fucking sick. If you haven't joined the Punters Club and you're about that life, make sure you get on that as well. Scope, thanks for jumping on. Sweet, bro.